We are live here from the Washington Wild Things ballpark for Game 2 of our Tuesday doubleheader. This one will feature the home Road Warrior Black Sox versus the away Wolfpac. Road Warriors are coming off of a 3-game sweep of the brilliant Sox over the weekend and into yesterday.
Yeah, you want to get one?
Do we have lineups?
You need one. Hey, LeBlanc, ask them for the lineup. Wolfpac. Huh? Yeah.
That's Sam.
I know it is. I think he said the wrong name. To make sure you get the vote. That's there's some guys. There's some. I'll do this right now.
And leading off this game is Joe Impaduglia facing the left-hand pitcher Manny Alonso. And we are now underway. Official first pitch time is 11:56. That is a ball in for ball 1-0 to start the game. Ball away for 2-0 to start the game for Manny Alonso. And Paduglia, an opposing lefty bat, stands a little close, meaning he has a narrow stance. Leans out of the way of that one. Ball 3. 3-0 here. Not to start. Manny won it. Not quite sure where that one missed. Ball 4 must have been a little low or a little outside as Impaduglia takes a 4-pitch walk. That will bring up the righty Colin Miner, who had an absolute hot streak for about a week and a half where he hit anything that moved hard. He takes ball 1. That's 5 straight from the starter, Manny Alonso. With Impaduglia at first base, Miner is looking to move him over at the very least.
He's got the book. And he's good. You're good doing it up here?
Alonso picks off over to first base. Nothing doing over there. Alonso with the left, the pitch, ball 2. The count moves to 2-0 to Colin Miner. Alonso working with battery mate Zach Whalen. Strike 1 on a slider working back to the dish. The count moves to 2-1 on Miner. The big swing and a miss from Miner as the count goes to 2-2 now as Manny does a good job evening back up. Impaduglia goes on the 2-2 pitch. Miner swing and miss for strike 3. Out number 1 as Impaduglia moves up to second base.
No. They're just, yeah, I got that. No, I need the overtime.
that the Wolfpac? Is this the Wolfpac?
Yeah. Thank you.
How do you send it to me?
I'm going to.
This brings up the big lefty. Is this Raywald or is it Castle? The big lefty Raywald takes strike one. With a runner on second base, he's going to be looking to cash him in. Manny kind of resets on the mound. Alonso does. Steps back up to the rubber and gets his sign from Whalen. A lift, the delivery, fouled off, and the great catch by Dadson on deck, playing it off of the net. Alonso comes set after getting the sign, lifts and Dublia on the move. Raywald with a good piece of hit and run as he hits that into the vacated 5-6 hole with Snybert covering third base for the steal of Impaduglia, and that will cash him in as we have our first run of the ball game. 1-0 here in the top of the first with one out, and Raywald standing on first base. That brings up Dadson up to the plate, another big-bodied lefty. Both Dadson and Raywald, large power threats here for the Wolfpac, facing a lefty-on-lefty matchup with Manny Alonso. As Alonso goes high, fastball for ball one. Strike one from Alonso as he gets what looked to be a changeup over. Looking to get that ground ball and get out of this inning with a little 2-for-1 deal. Alonso with an effort over towards first base as nothing is quite doing there. Frank Podkol makes the play over there as he is the Road Warrior first baseman to start today. Ball hit up the middle, gloved by Alonso to start. A little bit of a bobble. Almost would have had the double play if fielded cleanly, but collects it and goes to first for the second out as Raywald goes to second on the force. That brings up Skylar Mercado, one of the more sure-handed Wolfpac infielders. As we have a special guest, Owen Reith, up here to take lunch orders for everyone, not just the booth. Alonso delivers a first pitch outside fastball for a ball to Mercado.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Liners. Alonso with the ball inside to Mercado, making him dance a little bit there in the batter's box. Nothing wrong with making a hitter a little bit uncomfortable. Of course, that coming from the pitcher. 2-0 the count to Mercado, as Alonso will get his sign from Whalen with a runner on second base. Looks like Spencer Henn playing second base today for the Road Warriors as he holds Raywald at second base. Ball high for Alonso, 3-0 to Mercado. With the Wolfpac catcher looming on deck. That'd be Cole Workin. on deck for the Wolfpac. Big righty who was with Equipe Quebec at one point in the year. And Manny Alonso finds the zone there for strike one. Count moves to 3-1. Alonso struggling a little bit early in this game to get ahead of hitters, and that so far has cost him one run as the Wolfpac hitters have attacked early. There is strike two, evening up the count as Mercado thought he had just received ball four. The ump let him know otherwise. Mercado, a righty that likes to do damage up the middle of the field. It's used a big part of the playing surface. As 3-2 is our count. Ball hit into the air to right field. Will be caught by Buser for the third out of the inning, eliminating the damage to one run on the inning. So after the first, the Wolfpac end up with one hit, one run, one walk, as Manny Alonso gets out of there and leaves a runner on second base. Leading off for the Road Warrior Black Sox will be Hurt, then Smybert, and then McCurdy. McCurdy is a fresh face here in the Inter, coming to us from West Virginia Power of the Atlantic League. On the mound for the Wolfpac is Doug Olchese, the left-hander, who had a pretty good outing his last game versus the Killer Bees, which kicked off our 4th of July weekend series. Olchese will have his hands full today as the Road Warrior lineup has been catching a little bit of a hot streak lately as they've been able to win their last 3 games, and it feels like 4 out of the last 5 or 6 coming all against 3 against the Brilliants and a couple against the Bees, as we saw the Bees take a win in the first half of our doubleheader over the Brilliant Sox today. Doug Olchese is a stock lefty pitcher. He will simply establish the zone with fastballs and work off speed off of that. His off speed maintains a curveball and a changeup. He likes going to the curve more than the changeup, which will pose a challenge for the lefty bats in the Road Warrior lineup. In the bottom half of the first, here comes Derek Hurt, rocking jersey number 21, playing center field, coming to you from Maryville College, as they are the second Scots College in that year, United States Athletic Conference South to Covenant College. Hurt likes to get loose early in counts as he sends one high and foul into the party pavilion, where that ball just buried in some grass. And Owen Reith looks like he is on that one. The count moves to 0-1 after one pitch. Strike 2 from Olchese as Hurt watches that one go by. Olchese lifts and fires. Looked like it hit Hurt in the foot is what the umpire is signaling, as Hurt will go from 0-2 to standing on first base. That was a common theme in the first game today for those of you at home that witnessed. A lot of 0-2 counts where batters refused to give up and pitchers just couldn't seem to get the door closed. The hit batter brings up James Smybert, the big lefty, one of the big lefties in today's matchup, one of multiple. Ball outside and low from Olchese. I'm being told by one of our resident Canucks that he is also a Canadian nationality. 2-0 to the Canadian. As our Great White North ambassador behind me gets a chuckle. Olchese comes set and checks Hurt over at first base and pickoff attempt over there, but Hurt gets back without a slide. No tag, nothing doing. 2-0 to Smybert. That one misses. 3-0. As Smybert has taken full control of the driver's seat at this at bat with Olchese letting him off the hook a little bit with 3 quick balls. Strike one as Smybert was taken all the way and making sure Olchese could find the zone before attempting to do damage with a swing that I believe we'll see soon. Just like that, ball put in charge into right center field. That got down outside the outstretched dive of the center fielder as Hurt, who had to kind of check to make sure it got down, waits in before touching second base and eventually gets over to third with Smybert on his tails coasting into second. That'll be a double for the Road Warrior Black Sox as they are in business now with runners on second and third, no outs to open this game with big donkey power threat Carson McCurdy. McCurdy is coming off some time with the West Virginia Power that I mentioned earlier of the Atlantic League after having an incredible tour with the Black Sox where he lit up every single pitcher he faced, barreling balls all across this great country of independent baseball. And just like that, McCurdy's going to cash them both with a single into center field as both Hurt and Smybert will come across to score. The Road Warrior Black Sox answer the one put up by the Wolfpac with a 2-spot thus far in the inning. Runner on first, no out still for Olchese as big power threat Frank Podkol will come up to bat. Wolfpac manager Skylar Janice will go out and take a mound visit to Olchese, kind of give him a breath. It has been a quick inning. He's faced 3 hitters and has failed to record an out yet. He does seem to be in the zone for the most part, falling a little bit behind on Smybert, but attacking nonetheless. It's just been good baseball so far by the Road Warrior Black Sox. Meeting concludes as Olchese flips the ball from his glove to his hand and toes the rubber with McCurdy at first and Frank Podkol up to bat. Checks McCurdy. The slide step and low, ball 1 for Frank Podkol from Olchese. Olchese gets a sign, checks the runner, and delivers. Strike 1 on the outer part of the plate for Podkol. As so many of the hitters here have power to the pull side, it does seem the popular strategy is to pitch away. Ball 2 from Olchese. This count will move to 2-1 as Podkol takes one a little low. As maybe having McCurdy, who's an all-around threat on the field, messing with just a little bit with Old Chazy's timing to find the zone. Old Chazy doing his best to hold him at first as well. Ball hit hard into straightaway left field. This gets past the left fielder. This is going to be a double. McCurdy's going to coast into third, Podkla into second. And just like for McCurdy's at bat, we got second and third, no outs for catcher Zach Whalen coming up to bat. Whalen rocking number 69, doing the catching duties for today, swinging a celery-barreled bat. As the official color.
That's the official color.
Celery. Little known fact about celery. It is a negative caloric food. You cannot eat enough of it. Well, Chazy lifts and fires. Ball put in play, a little lazy fly ball into center field. They hold McCurdy at third base, but they hold Podkla at third base as McCurdy comes in to score, and Whalen strolls into first with a single. Runners on the corners, no outs, 3 runs so far on the scoreboard. I have to imagine this is not the day that Doug Chazy envisioned himself starting with. Well, Chazy checks Whalen over at first. Ball outside to the right-hander, Spencer Henn, who's doing the second base duties for today. Whalen, not necessarily a big base running threat, but if you forget about him, he will take advantage. Henn hits one hard into left field. That gets past the left field and will rattle up against the wall for what I'm sure is a double as Whalen coasts into third. Spencer into second. Once again, second and third, no outs, as we have a little bit of action in the Wolfpac bullpen as usual closer Matt Colon is up and moving around back there. This brings Buser up to bat for the Warrior Black Sox. Kyle Buser, the lefty, steps in for lefty-lefty matchup and takes ball 1 from Old Chazy outside. We got Lentz on deck for the Road Warriors. He's a righty. Ball 2 from Old Chazy. With the pace that Colon is moving, I'd have to imagine that he will come in for the righty that is on deck. Old Chazy getting some support from fellow Wolfpac member Jose Vasquez. Strike 1. The count moves to 2-1 as that ball crosses the outer portion of the plate. As Old Chazy's got to be looking for a strikeout here to limit the damage of this inning. Ball put in play. That just squirts by the second baseman. That's going to play both runners and leave Buser at first base. Another 2-run score. It's up to 6 on the scoreboard now. Still 0 outs for Old Chazy. Tough scene out here as the Road Warriors are starting out real hot. The catcher Alvarez goes out and takes a visit with Old Chazy, possibly to buy a little time for Colon in the bullpen as Lentz steps into the box. Swings at a first pitch from Old Chazy and fouls that one off over towards the wild. Dak doesn't quite have the legs to get there and bounces towards the beer cart as reliever Owen Reith will go hawk that one down for us. Old Chazy ahead here, 0-1. Just off the dish, says home plate umpire. Therefore, the count will move to 1-1 to Lentz, who is not making his first appearance, but I believe it's his second here in the Yinzer. Another ball high and outside. Big inning so far for the Road Warrior Black Sox, as they put up 6 with a swing and miss from Lentz, who looked like he was trying to put up a couple more with that one. There are no outs with Buser on first base and Lentz in a 2-2 battle with Doug Olchese, our starting pitcher of the day for the Wolfpac. Another ball fouled back over towards V. Desai in the first base on deck circle. As we will do this 2-2 count again. Olchese comes set, checks the Buser over at first base, and another ball fouled off into the bleachers over there on the first base side. It looks like it's dressed like a bleacher day as someone just went home with a foul ball. The count will remain 2-2 as Lentz is putting up a good fight against Doug Olchese. A ball hit into center field. Center fielder retreats back just a step or two. No tag from Buser at first, and that will be the first out here in the home half of the first inning. That brings up V. Desai, the 9-hole, up to bat with a runner on first. V is a lefty, so we will see another lefty-lefty matchup. Not really playing handed matchup over there on Road Warrior Black Sox. It's just this is the lineup. That's what they're rolling with, and here we go. Ball looks like it just missed inside from Olchese to Desai. Count moves to 1-0. Foul ball back just over the third base side of the stands as the count moves to 1-1. Olchese doing his best to find a ground ball here and get out of this inning where it stands. So far the score is 1-6. Wolfpac scoring 1 in the top of the first. And the Road Warrior Black Sox putting up 6 so far in an answer with only 1 out. That's ball 2 high to V. Desai. V. Desai takes a big swing and comes up empty as he was chasing to put one off the wall or further. Count moves to 2-2 after that hack. Olchese is in a good spot here to get his ground ball. V. Desai keeps in the air, line drive at right fielder who takes a kind of a bad route, takes a couple hard steps in and goes back to retrieve it and then attempts to double up Buser at first base. And once he saw the retreat, took an extra step towards second, but everyone remains safe at first and 2 outs in the inning. As we get back to the top of the lineup for Derek Hurt, Skylar Janice is pulling starter Doug Olchese and putting in typical closer Matt Colon. Colon, one of the larger frames for the Wolfpac bullpen. Doesn't necessarily use his height advantage as he throws from a halfway sidearm slot. In Florida, I had the pleasure of spending some time with Matt Colon, who told me his favorite ball player was himself, as he does not watch a ton of baseball. Somebody jokingly told me he was related to Bartolo Colon, which I then asked him about, and he said, "Oh yeah, that guy? No, we're not related."
Olchese finished up with 2/3 of an inning. He had 9 batters faced, 17 strikes. Six hits, six. No, this guy's still accounted for. No walks and no strikeouts.
6 hits with the runs. Yeah.
Matt Colon comes in to pitch now with 2 outs in the bottom of the first, 6 runs already across, and 1 runner, which belongs to Double Cheesy on first base. We are back at the top of the order for Derek Hurt's second at bat in this inning. Always a good sign for the offense when a player can have multiple plate appearances and at bats in an inning. Colon misses outside with the fastball in the 0-0 count to move to 1-0. As you guys can see what I was talking about with that sidearm slot from Matt Colon. Colon gets in on the hands of Hurt and pops out to the first baseman, Workin, who will end the inning with a pop-up in foul territory. All in all for the Road Warrior Black Sox in that inning, 6 hits, 6 runs to take a commanding 6-1 lead in the first. Long time down for starter Manny Alonso. We'll see how he handles the time in the dugout as he got more than ample rest from his first inning of work. He will face Workin, Figueroa, and Alvarez due up in the second inning. This second inning brought to you by Chico Baldalucci's,
Way to go.
as they are a beautiful little bistro near Washington and Jefferson's campus. About 10 minutes here from the ballpark at Wild Things Ballpark. I personally recommend the Plain Jane, the ham sandwich. Can't go wrong there, as they also have a full menu of breakfast and lunch items. The Road Warrior Black Sox left 1 on base after a big first inning there. As Cole Workin will come up to bat, as the Wolfpac hope to begin to chip away at a 5-run deficit after just 1 inning of play. Strike 1 for Manny Alonso as the break does not appear to break his rhythm as he delivers strike 1 to Cole Workin. Foul ball down the third base line as Cole Workin pulls that foul. 0-2 for Alonso. After a big inning like that, a 0 in the opposing score column will go a long way for his team. A 1-2-3 inning even further. Workin puts a charge into that one into straightaway left field. McCurdy's back up against the wall. That ball did not leave the field. McCurdy runs into the walls. Workin ends up with a double, and McCurdy familiarizes himself with the left field wall here at Washington Wild Things Ballpark. That was an 0-2 fastball that looked center cut, and Workin let him know. Now up to bat for the Wolfpac is is Marcos Figueroa. Figueroa righty with a quiet stance, not a whole lot of movement. Alonso delivers strike one. Figueroa just kind of looking there, getting time. Figueroa's playing left field today for the Wolfpac. Alonso attempts to pick second base with no one there. Nothing doing. Alonso checks his runner. Delivers a pitch low and inside to Figueroa, 1-1.
I must.
As our head stats analyst, Ty, checks with Mark Sanders about the book. Alonso lifts and delivers. Ball 2 that one is high and tight. Strike 2 from Alonso. As the count moves to 2-2 for Figueroa, who's going to look to cash in that runner in scoring position with no outs. Ball put on the turf at third base coach Skylar Janice, who takes care of it and feeds it back to Manny Alonso on the mound. Count will remain 2-2, and we will do this again. Alonso comes set, checks working at second base. Delivers the ball that must have been just a little high and outside for the umpire's liking as the count moves to 3-2. Alonso working out of the stretch with the runner on. Gets his sign, comes set. Checks him twice. Swing and a miss. Alonso gets the K of Figueroa. And there'll be one out with the man on second with Alvarez up to bat. Alvarez doing the catching duties for today for the Wolfpac, with other catcher working, spacing in at first base. Alvarez with an open stance. Delivers a base hit into right field. They're going to send Workin to home. As Workin will come in to score as the throw from Buser is just a little bit up the line. Alvarez will end up with a single, which will bring up Salcedo. Salcedo in the right-hand batter's box for the left-hand pitcher, Alonso. Lays a bunt down. Alonso takes it. Takes the out at first base, says the umpire, as he will have 2 outs with the man on second base for the leadoff hitter, Joe Impaduglia. Joe Impaduglia with his second at-bat of the day, second plate appearance in as many innings. Runner on second base with 2 outs as Alonso delivers an off-speed pitch low for ball 1. Alonso looking to end the inning here and save 2, 3, 4 for the next one. A little bit of work on the runner at second base from Vidasai with Alonso, as Alonso will spin and check him, but no throw, just to get the runner on second moving a little bit the other direction. In Paduglia takes a big hack and comes up empty as the count moves to 1-1. Alonso pitching from the middle of the rubber looks to win his ones here and get ahead in the count, while Paduglia looks to do the same. And Paduglia, another big hack. And Paduglia is swinging as if he can cover this 4-run deficit with one swing of the bat when there's only one man on second base. Alonso delivers the pitch outside, and Paduglia has an aggressive take at it, but decides not to pull the trigger, and the count moves to 2-2. As Alonso gets his sign, comes set, and delivers. That ball seems to be a little high and outside for the home plate umpire's liking as the count moves full with the runner on second base. He shouldn't be moving on the pitch. There's no one behind him. But if he sees the pitch is in the zone, I would expect him to get going. And Paduglia here, looking to find a way to first base, and Alonso trying to find his way back into the dugout. That's going to be a broken bat base hit for Joey Paduglia as he shoots a soft line drive to shortstop that Vidasai has to go back to play, and Paduglia is able to leg out as we have runners on the corners with 2 outs and Cullen Minor, the 2-hole, coming up to bat. Alonso with the pitch. With the way Minor reacted, it must have been a little inside for his liking. The count moves to 1-0 with runners on the corners here in the top of the second. Minor with a modified Craig Counsell stance. Flips that front foot inwards to kind of set the hips closed and has his hands up over his head, but a little bit over the plate as well. Does a good job of covering the whole zone from that stance. As our Great White North ambassador reminds me, Jose Bautista with a similar stance in the box. Swing and a miss from Minor on a good pitch from Alonso that looked to have a little bit of cutting slider action, but looked firm like a fastball. The count is 1-2 with 2 outs and runners on the corner. Alonso hoping to leave everybody right where they stand.
Just get him out. Get him out. Get him out.
some chaos on the base paths as Joe Paduglia attempts to steal second base, stops halfway to draw a pickle to score the runner from third. The second baseman, Spencer Henn, tries to throw out the runner at home, makes an errant throw, and Paduglia gets the second. The runner scores, and Paduglia kept going to third, where Whalen collected the ricochet off the wall and hosed him at third base to end the inning. The Wolfpack get 2 across after all that. The score right now is 3-6, with 2, 3, 4 of the Road Warrior lineup due up to bat off of the reliever, Matt Colon. All in all, not a bad inning for the Wolfpack as they do begin to chip away at that 5-1 deficit. For those of us Yinzer players watching at home, we are light on pitchers in the stands. We can use all the help we can get with foul balls, charts, and other various duties around the field. So if you are near the field, stop on by and lend a hand. Matt Colon, the big righty, back out for his second inning of work. We'll face Smybert, McCurdy, and Podkul. All 3 of them already in the hit column after the big first inning for the Road Warrior Black Sox. A little bit of tricky there at the end of the inning from the Wolfpack to sneak a run across and make this a 3-run ball game. As James Smybert steps into the box. Colon misses outside for ball 1. Swing and a miss from Smybert as the count moves to 1-1 after that. Ball 2 outside from Colon, as it is a beautiful day in Washington, Pennsylvania. Washington, PA. Also abbreviated as Washington. Ball 3 inside as that pitch freezes Smybert for good reason. The count is 3-1. Smybert looking to get the party started again for the Road Warriors. Road Warriors are the home team today. Figure that one out. Breaking ball. Just fair over the base. Smybert disagrees running down the line, but the umpire overrules him. And we have one out. A little bit of fortune from Colon for that one sticking fair from a 3-1 count. As Smybert did not get the swing he necessarily wanted off. Stepping up to the plate is Carson McCurdy to bat for the Road Warrior Black Sox. Strike 1 from Colon to McCurdy as the power-on-power matchup starts to favor Colon. McCurdy takes a hack and fouls that off. It is 0-2 in favor of the big righty on the bump. Cologne challenges with the 0-2 fastball, which McCurdy turns right around into center field and will one hop in Paduglia in center field for a 0-2 single with one out and Frank Pavko coming up to the plate. After matching, this was the matchup drawn up by managers Skylar Janice and Joe Torre for the Wolfpac later in the game, not necessarily in the bottom of the second inning where they get a big righty arm versus a big righty bat. Strike one, inside slider from Cologne. Podko nods in agreement. Cologne back on the rubber with good pace and tempo. Comes set and delivers. Outside, 1-1 to Podko. Frank the Tank Podko, as he is affectionately called by his teammates, is having a good year. Maybe not up to his standards, but just flexed a little bit of power to the pull side, putting a couple balls off the scoreboard, as well as throwing doubles the other way. He fouls that one off to go into a 1-2 count now, as he looks to get on base and hopefully get to McCurdy onto third. Podko, one of the more cerebral batters for the Road Warriors, likes to think about what he wants to do in each at-bat and kind of what he's going to get as he spoils that outside slider from Cologne. The count will remain 1-2 after that foul ball. Word of the day. Cerebral is our word of the day here in the second inning. To the disapproval of Ty. Another foul ball by the cerebral hitter. Cerebral, as pointed out by Mark Sanders, does not begin with the letter S like his last name, but rather with the letter C. The more you know. Matt Cologne delivers. Outside slider, ball 2. Good pitch there by Cologne, says catcher Alvarez. Not, says the umpire. 2-2 to Podko. He's already fought off a couple foul balls in this at-bat with McCurdy on first base. Ball 3 inside as Podko began to swing and thought better of it. We do have a little bit of a biased booth as we have 2 Road Warrior Black Sox in the booth here today. Strike 3 on the outside black as Cologne freezes Podko with an outside fastball, and the umpire calls him on it. 2 outs in the bottom of inning number 2 with position number 2, catcher Zach Whalen coming up. Wild pitch from Cologne as McCurdy will run like Wario. Will run like Waluigi into second base. Ty over here loving the Mario reference. We are in a 6-3 ball game here in the second with 2 outs and a runner on second. Matt Cologne delivers. Outside, Zach Whalen takes for a ball as he is not using the celery stick bat, but is going to his BP bat of late, which I believe is a dovetail with a black barrel and a nice burgundy handle. Ball put into the gap, hit hard by Whalen. That will rattle off the wall for a double. McCurdy will score easy as Whalen will go into second with a double. Ball gets away from the shortstop on the cut. Whalen to third base, safe as the ball is overthrown from third, collected by pitcher Matt Cologne backing up the play. That will go down as a double and an error on either the left fielder or the shortstop. Most likely the left fielder for the short hop throw. Whalen moving to third base with 2 outs. A run came across As this score is now 3-7 in favor of the Road Warriors.
I think he needs to start using that more.
Shit.
Yeah, that is
Good call,
one.
using the
That is 1-for-1 on the day after having some good rounds of BP yesterday. He got the promotion and delivers the RBI as Spencer Henn takes strike one.
Good call. BP.
Spencer Henn takes ball one inside as he's 100% looking to find his way on first base as he needs a base knock to cash in that run over at third base. Whalen not necessarily the fastest guy on the field, but if a pitch squirts away from Alvarez, Whalen always is looking to take that extra base. Ball two inside from Matt Colon to the righty Spencer Henn. Spencer Henn sends one to the Road Warrior bullpen. Off the Wild Thing party deck for strike two. Count moves to 2-2 now. As we have special guest in the booth, Dylan Jacober, who was a foul ball specialist for the first half of game one.
Thank you for having me on, Matt. It's a pleasure to be up here with you.
How was chasing foul balls in game one? Any far and away adventures?
And another hiccup pitch.
As that ball runs in and gets Spencer Henn, and he will walk it off to first base as Matt Colon loves the inside part of the plate, and on that pitch, loved the inside part of the right-hand batter's box. Buser coming up to the plate. Back to Jacober. Any far adventures for a foul ball in the first game?
I made a couple hikes up into the trees behind us, but all in all, a successful day.
As we did recover a record-breaking 93.5% of the foul balls that went out in the first game, as Ty, our head stats analyst, just informed me. Time called by Buser in the box as Henn was looking to steal second base after getting a great jump and shutting it down after being just a touch too early on the first pitch. Colon having to work around a double that cashed in a run that turned into a triple with the error and a hit by pitch. Collect strike one to go 1-1 on Buser. Colon moved over to the opposite side of the rubber. He's now on the first base side for the lefty. Steps off, and we will try that again. Colon likes to move around on the rubber, and with a turf mound, really no consequences, creates some funky angles, especially coming from that side arm slot, as he creates a fastball that just keeps running away from Buser. That Buser just couldn't hit with a boat oar as he swings and misses for strike two. Henn with another early jump right when Colon is pitching, and Buser fouls that one off of one of those first row seats down the first baseline. As again, we have action in the Wolfpac bullpen. It looks to be Gilliam, the lefty. Pick off at first base. Nothing doing as Henn is back safely. After a couple early jumps, Colon wants to check on him to keep him close, keep him honest. As I hear I believe it's Gilliam, the lefty, popping the mitt in that bullpen. Henn on the move. Foul ball into the seats, I believe, if not the first base Road Warrior dugout. As we have confirmation, it is Gilliam in the pen. Gilliam had a couple starts earlier in the first block and did well with those. Looks to be coming in what would be on the long relief role once he is entered into the ballgame. Ball two taken by Buser after fouling off a few. Colon sees if he can get some to chase, and he does not. Look for Henn to be moving on this pitch as it's 2-2s across the board. Spencer Henn not going anywhere, and either is the batters. That's ball three. Henn will be moving on this pitch. as the infield is being instructed to throw across because of Hen's movement, as either a walk, a base hit, or an out is imminent. Time, late call by Skylar Janice with a call to the bullpen in a 3-2 count with 2 outs and 2 runners on to the lefty to get a 1-pitch lefty-lefty matchup on Buser. Cologne's day is done. He is responsible for both runners on base, as he went one inning, I believe. After coming in with 2 outs in the first, he leaves with 2 outs in the second.
Yeah, one out, 1 inning. 6 batters faced, 17 Ks. I got 32 for him. But okay, I'm right.
Cologne with 32 pitches. I was just informed that starter Doug Olchese only threw 33 pitches before being removed from the ballgame.
So it is the same amount of strikes.
And it does sound like they did have the same amount of strikes, which we will not announce out of some salve and feel up here in the booth. Gilliam is our pitcher now, the lefty.
50%.
Neither than walking, really just give it to the
From UMBC. The lefty on the mound for the lefty Buser in an odd move to bring him in mid-count in a 3-2 count with 2 runners on, one of which being on first base, which will surely be in motion. I'd be intrigued to see if we do get a lift and pick to first base to try and take advantage of the situation and Hen's aggression on the base paths. Interesting move here from Skylar Janice, who's managing the Wolfpac, as we will see if he's playing chess or checkers with this very next pitch. Gilliam lifts, goes home, ball 4. As Buser draws a walk off combined Cologne and Gilliam after fouling off 3 or 4 pitches from Cologne, working it back to a 3-2 count, getting a lefty in the game for the 3-2 count and seeing a ball. Gilliam 1 pitch in, is now facing the righty. Throws a wild pitch, and like I said earlier, Whalen not the fleetest of foot, but will take the extra base when given. And that, as that gets away from catcher Alvarez, that will score a run. As both runners move up, it is second and third, 2 outs. The count is 1-0 to Lentz, the batter. Our score is now 8-2 as the Road Warriors have matched the 2 runs put up by the Wolfpac in the second. 8-3, excuse me. Ball 2 as that one misses on the opposite corner, high and away. Somewhere in the middle is where I'm guessing Gilliam wants to go with the next one. High and away again, 3-0 to Lentz, the 8-hole DH. Strike 1 at the bottom of the zone to Lentz. 3-1 is his count. Runners on second and third. Gilliam out of the windup. Ball 4. Lentz will take his base, and we have V. Desai, the shortstop, up to bat. Ty, is that technically 2 walks for Gilliam now? Since he had a one pitch ball 4, or is that Cologne? Is that Cologne's walk?
That's Cologne's walk.
So only 1 walk right now for Gilliam, as the first one where he threw ball 4 of his first at pitch of the game goes towards walk Cologne, since Cologne started the batter, is what I'm guessing. Ball 1 to Vita Sai. No.
Oh,
Vita Sai, Warrior in the elbow pad. That will score Spencer Henn, and everybody will move up on the base paths. Both those runners are Cologne's, as technically Buser on third base is Cologne's last runner responsible for. We still have more action in the Wolfpac bullpen as it looks like Keaton Slack begins to loosen up. As this game is now 9-3 in the bottom of the second. Derek Hurt puts a line drive down the left field lines. That's going to score 2 for sure. Maybe a third, depending on where Vitasai. They're sending Vitasai around third. The throw into home. Vitasai safe as the throw is late. Double for Derek Hurt. 3 RBIs for him as this lead expands 12-3, 6 runs in this second inning. Bases clearing double there by Derek Hurt as Alvarez is out to talk to Gilliam. Who is looking at his manager. I wonder if something is wrong. I certainly hope not. I hope he is okay. Walking off the mound, hands the ball to Janice. I'm not sure if he's had enough today or if something is not right with that young man. Either way, here comes Keaton Slack from the bullpen. A little bit of frustration shown from Gilliam, which is understandable. I'm being informed it's his first appearance back off of an injury, so maybe that injury re-flared up again, God forbid. Either way, not the day he wanted or the day the Wolfpac envisioned as they're on their third pitcher and their second inning. Tough day for Gilliam as he fails to record an out in the 3 or 4 batters he faces. Keaton Slack, the righty from California, on the mound now. Keaton Slack, fun fact, there is a rather famous Padres closer who is the godfather of Mr. Slack on the mound. That would be correct. Mr. Jacober, as Trevor Hoffman is the godfather of Keaton Slack. 0. It's right, 0 and put a plus. Keaton Slack, the righty, coming into pitch, and he is facing number 44, James Smibert, formerly with the Ogden Raptors at one point this season in the new Pioneer League. Takes ball 1 from Slack as Manny Alonso is going to have another long inning sitting in that dugout, which can cause a little bit of trouble for a pitcher with such long breaks in between his half of frames. But the run support, I know, is very much welcome. Count moves to 2-0 on Smibert as Slack misses high and outside. And a little bit more commotion begins in the Wolfpac bullpen. Ball low from Keaton Slack as the count moves to 3-0. Strike 1, says the home plate umpire, as the count moves to 3-1, and James Smibert thought he earned a 4-pitch walk. Umpire lets him know, nope, you're going to see one more. Same spot, strike 2. The count now back to full with a runner on second base, and six men have come across to score this inning. Foul ball straight back off Smibert. Three and 2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Ball put in play. Drops in front of Raywald, I believe, for a good job keeping that a single, but the run will score from second base as Hurt comes across. Raywald did a good job getting that ball quick and keeping it a long single as that ball was trying to jump to the Viatris sign down in the right field corner. The big bat of Carson McCarty steps into the box to face Keaton Slack in the bottom of the second inning with 2 outs and James Smybert on first base. McCarty takes strike 1. And Slack steps right back on the rubber and gets a sign. Comes set. Ball got past Alvarado and shot off the right foot of the umpire right in front of the Wolfpac dugout there on the third base side. As James Smybert strolls into second base with 2 outs. The count moves to 1-1. Ball low, 2-1 to Carson McCurdy from Keaton Slack. Slack used to have a nice blonde lettuce flowing out of his hat. Ooh. Well, one hop right back at him. Keaton Slack gloves it, collects the easy out at first to escape any further damage. But with 7 runs across, the damage has been done in the inning. The score now 13-3 as the Road Warriors put up another big number in the second inning, running through multiple pitchers there from the Wolfpac. A lot of action for the Road Warriors on offense. As for the first time in what feels about 30 minutes, we're seeing Manny Alonso back out on the mound for his third inning of work. Must be well rested as he does a full jump over the first base line. Manny Alonso, rocking number 9, back up on the mound for his third inning of work after having a long inning of rest in the bottom of the second and in the bottom of the first. Alonso gave up 1 in the first, had a long break, and then gave up 2 in the second. We'll see what he does here in the third.
So I came in to face Smybert.
I believe so.
Coming up to bat will be Colin Miner, the 2-hole, as in Paduglia ended the top half of the second last inning. Alonso winds and delivers. Swing and a miss from Miner. Strike 1. Alonso back at it again. Swing. Ball put in play. Pop up in between first and second baseman. Frank Podkol will use his height advantage and take that one over Spencer Henn to collect the first out. Brings up the big lefty threat of Raywald. Raywald a few nights ago hit one of the most majestic home runs I've ever seen hit here, as he takes strike 1 from Manny Alonso. Raywald coming to you from the University of Sioux Falls. and was with the Washington Wild Things in spring training this year before being let go, and he stayed put and came here. As he fouls that one off, the count goes to 0-2. Big hack by Raywald as he just fights that one off and stays alive with an 0-2 count. As Raywald hits that one hard towards the left center gap, McCurdy does a good job of cutting it off, but bobbles it up against the Pepsi sign, as that will turn into a double. Stretching for three is Raywald. A good throw and attack, and he is out at third base as the relay from McCurdy to Vidasai to James Smiber at third base, who applies the tag, gets him 2 outs and nobody on base for Manny Alonso, who gave up a hard hit ball. McCurdy did a good job of cutting it off and then just bobbled it, giving Raywald the confidence to go for 3, and the relay got him. A base hit by Dadson into right field. Fielded on the knee by Busers, who will not have any extracurriculars after that base hit, unlike last. Yeah, so 2B765 out of there. Skylar Mercado coming in after the first pitch single by Dadson. Ball 1 by Manny Alonso. Low and inside. Ball missed, but must have been outside to make the count 2-0. As it is starting to heat up here in Washington Wild Things ballpark. As the bats have come to play today for both sides. As that count moves to 3-0. Strike 1 to Skylar Mercado from Manny Alonso. That's ball 4 inside as Mercado dances out of the way of that one. Leaves his bat in shin guard and trots his way to first base. Runners on first and second, 2 outs with Cole Workin up to bat. Strike 1 to Workin, the righty in the box.
53 now.
As Alonso's working hard to get this third out and get out of this inning with a 0. Strike 2 to Workin, both taken. As Alonso comes set, checks his runners on first and second and delivers. Ball put in play, Hurt takes 2 steps back and collects out number 3 as Manny throws up the first 0 of the ball game in the top of the 3rd inning. That's a big 0, especially coming after a large scoring 2nd inning by his team in the bottom half of the last inning. Back out to work is Keaton Slack for the bottom half of the 3rd. This will also be a 7-inning ball game as we are making our way towards the midway point. 2 left on base that inning, with runners on first and second. Manny Alonso got the pop-up of Cole Workin to center field, which is why Mark Sanders needs a pencil.
How many pitches you say Alonso's got right now?
Alonso pitch count.
54. The 54.
I have 57, so I'm off. Oh, well, one of us is wrong.
I think we're somewhere in the middle. But 1 or 2 pitches.
Keaton Slack working back in the bottom of the third. Came into the game with 2 outs in the second after the pitcher before him failed to get an out. This half inning was brought to you by Diana. If you ever have legal needs, call Diana. You can see her on the billboard out in right center. Diana.
Also, a well-known barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Also, a well-known barbecue sauce.
Diana, also the name of a well-known barbecue sauce up in the Great White North Canada. As Frank Podkol comes up to the dish, it's going to be 4-5-6 for the Road Warriors. For Keaton Slack, the reliever. Strike 1 for Slack to Podkol. Fastball on the inner half part of the plate. As it is getting steamy up in this booth. Heat's starting to finally. Puts one right over the bag of third base by Mercado, and his throw is high, which pulls Workin off the bag. As Workin was in the air, Podkol touches first safely, and we have a leadoff runner. And the Road Warriors are in business once again on offense. Mm-hmm. Up to bat, the catcher, Zach Whalen, who, as I mentioned earlier, not using that celery bat after the first at-bat he had. Takes ball 1 low and away from Keaton Slack.
Yes, sir.
Whalen grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. Slack does his job and erases both the lead-off batter and Whalen and collects 2 outs in the process. As we are visited by BPD zone, Zach LeBlanc. It gets steamy in here. It's getting warm in here.
Not too steamy for one more.
Spencer Henn takes ball 2. The count moves to 2-0 as Keaton Slack threw 2 pitches inside, trying to work the inside of the plate. 3-0 for Keaton Slack to Spencer Henn. Strike 1 from the righty to the righty. Key slide delivers strike 2 to Spencer Henn. Started walking his way towards first base. Three and two the count. Spencer Henn puts a jolt into this one into left field for out number 3. Henn must have just missed. That one looked like it got a little in on his hands from the booth.
Ballard is going for hurt. Yeah, Ballard is going for
Velarde is going in for hurt. I would assume in center field as Velarde makes his way out there.
they get for recruiting.
How many pitches for?
Slack.
Actually, I'm not. I can't find the pitch sheet.
Okay.
And Alonso back in after a regular amount of rest period as the Wolfpac managed to put up a 0 in the score column for Road Warriors. Manny Alonso kicks, deals. Strike 1. To Figueroa. Figueroa stands a little bit off the dish, creating space to get his hands through the zone. Same spot, ball 1. Count is 1-1 after the first 2 pitches of this at bat. Ball hit well into center field. Finds the new outfielder Velarde, who collects it for an F8 to get the first guy of the inning for Alonso. We've got special guest Zach LeBlanc joining us in the booth, doing scoreboard privileges for now, taking over for Dylan Jacober. As Alonso kicks and deals strike 1 to Alvarez. Alvarez looking to work back up the middle of the field. As he watches ball 1, another 1-1 count here for Alonso.
Quick question. Do you guys have Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Ball 2 from Manny Alonso. As we are sharing the Wi-Fi here in Washington Wild Things Ballpark. The ball hit lightly, collected by Zach Whalen just in front of home plate, and he puts out Alvarez at first place, so one catcher grounds out to the other. Something you don't get to say a lot with catchers. 2 up, 2 down for Alonso in the top half of the 4th. As we have Salcedo at the bottom of the order. Takes strike 1. The pattern shows that this will be ball 1 if everything holds true. Foul ball off of Salcedo in the box. We did move to 0-2 on the count. We broke the cycle of ones. As Ty, our stats analyst, hands out the Washington Law Things Wi-Fi password.
What happened with Alvarez? What's the
1-1-2-3.
2-3.
Alonzo kicks and deals. Ball one inside and maybe low as Waylon corrals that one. Salcedo hits that one to Vitaside second, or shortstop, and Vitaside deposits the out to Frank Podkol at first base. And that was a 1-2-3 inning for Manny Alonso. Keaton Slack back out there. Looking into the Road Warrior bullpen for whatever reason. As Workin goes out at first base and then comes off the field as Will Musser looks to be making his way out there for his first appearance of the day. Musser, a big righty. Been swinging a hot stick lately. LeBlanc, any BPD stories you'd wish to share?
Nope.
He is shaking his head emphatically, holding a sign saying, "I cannot confirm nor deny."
Mustard for working.
Mustard for Workin at first base.
And Guzman for Alvarez.
We also have Guzman for Alvarez. Keaton Slack working out the stretch. Strike one to Buser as Buser fouls that straight back. Ball put in play. Sounded like good contact as Raywald comes in to collect out number one. Lentz up to bat now, the DH for today's contest. F9. Swing and a miss by Lentz. The count is 1-1. Strike two taken by Lentz on the low outside corner. As Slack is doing a good job of working ahead this inning. Ball put in play, hard hit ground ball to Mercado, who slides and fields it at third base. Bobbles the transfer, collects and makes an attempt, but the left will beat that one out, and he's come up in pain just past first base. As he's grabbing that right hip. As we have a new face subbing in for the injured Lentz. Ray Serrano coming in to pinch run after Lentz came up lame after reaching first base safely on the E5.
What was that?
E5.
No. What's that right ball?
Don't know. Ball put in play by Vita side of straightaway center field, and Paduglia chasing it, ranging out. Ball gets over his head and off the wall and ricochets back into central left center as Ray Serrano will advance up to third base, and Vita side will come in with a double. Joe Bellardi will come up to the dish now. Out of Iowa Wesleyan University. Slack kicks and deals, ball low, collected by Alvarez. Strike one, the count is 1-1 to Bellardi. Strike two as Bellardi takes it. The pitch, the swing and miss, strike three to Bellardi, as that is the second out of the inning. That brings up the two-hole James Smyber as Bellardi went in for Derek Hurt in the leadoff spot. Ball put into play, hit very high into center field. Impaduglia tracking it, makes the catch for out number 3, and that will end the inning for the World War Black Sox, so they will leave 2 men on and score none in the inning after a double by Vita side to straightaway center field. Stanziano's coming in at third base as manager Dave Casey is emptying his bench and getting everybody in the game. Mark Sherman comes in at second base. James Smyber looks like he moved over to shortstop with Vita side coming out. Whalen remains behind the dish. and Alonso on the mound. As the battery's been good so far, allowing just 3 runs in 4 innings of work. Leadoff hitter Joe Impaduglia steps in to the box wearing a orange elbow guard and shin guard. Takes ball 1 high from Alonso. As we have a little bit of activity in the Wolfpac bullpen once again.
Sherman for Penn at second base.
Yeah, you recognize
Okay,
this.
sorry.
As Impaduglia takes strike 1. Alonso kicks and deals. Impaduglia, big swing and a miss, but I have to be imagining a changeup where Alonso just pulls the parachute out on that one and the ball never quite gets there. Impaduglia a little up in the box, a little closer to the pitcher, cutting off some distance. Sticks his bat out there and shoots one into the corner in left field. Ball looked like it was caught, but was just knocked down by the left fielder out there. I believe that's Tommy Baggett. As that is Kyle Buser out left, Tommy Baggett is in right. Tie hitter, Eric. I give it.
I couldn't see it.
I don't know. Hit his claw.
Yeah, but you had
Alonso with the leadoff runner at second, kicks and deals. Gets in on the hands of Miners. He fouls that one into his own hip. Now that's getting into somebody's kitchen. Manny Alonso gets his signs, comes set, and checks in Paduglia at second. Delivers an outside pitch to Miner. The count moves to 1-1. Miner hits that one foul, just foul down the left field line as that is corralled by third baseman Stanziano, but just outside of the field of play. Fouled straight back by the swing of Miner off the pitch of Alonso. As the count will remain 1-2, and we will do it again. Big swing just missed by Colin Miner as new shortstop James Smybert ranges into shallow left field and catches the pop fly for out number 1, leaving Joe Impadugli at second base. Strike 1 from Alonso to Raywall. As the big lefty takes the pitch for strike 1. Count moves to 0-1 here. Still that runner at second base and 1 out. Just outside says the home plate umpire as the count moves to 1-1 on a pitch that looked pretty good from here. Big hack on the outside pitch sends that ball shooting foul over the third base line. As Alonso gets ahead of the 1-1 count and moves it to 1-2. Check swing, and he did, says the home plate umpire. As Raywald strikes out with a man on second base, now 2 outs, bringing up Dadson. Foul ball off Dadson from the pitch. Oh, and 1 is the count from Alonso as Dadson stays in the box. Dadson, the big guy, takes up almost the entirety of that left-hand batter's box. Takes ball 1 on the inside part of the dish. As Dylan Jacober gets a special delivery up here in the booth. A Cliff Bar, which I don't think he's going to share with everybody.
He will not be sharing it with everybody, but he will let them watch.
Manny Alonso, ball 2 to Dadson. That one misses a little bit away. Dadson, a big hack, popped up in foul territory. Just into the stands outside of the field of play. The delivery. A good pitch by Alonso, but looks like he missed just out. 3-2 is the count now. Two outs with Dadson up at bat and Impadugli on second after a leadoff double. Dadson fouls that one off. We'll do this 3-2 count again. Alonso kicks and deals. Off-speed pitch for a ball, apparently, as Dadson will walk on what looked to be a great pitch from Manny Alonso. May have fooled the umpire there. As manager Dave Casey sends someone in the bullpen to to get moving around a little bit. As Alonso is getting deep into this game with 2 outs and Skylar Mercado up to bat. Strike 1 from Manny Alonso with runners on first and second. Foul ball off the umpire. 0-2 on Mercado, and it looks like the big body of Dan Pellenin starting to move around and get loose in the Road Warrior bullpen. Pellenin, a high school draft pick, ended up going to college. I believe he was picked in the 40th round, if I remember correctly. I believe it was by the Cleveland Indians. Manny Alonso comes set, checks his runners, delivers the 0-2 pitch. A ball hit well by Skylar Mercado down the left field line. Called foul by the umpire, disagreed with by the people sitting just below the booth. We'll do this 0-2 again as Alonso kicks and deals. Foul ball looked like off of Waylon's knee as the catcher unable to corral that tip. Mercado doing a good job of staying alive here. Ball put foul down the left field line again by Skylar Mercado, doing a great job of fouling pitches and staying alive, driving that pitch count up for Manny Alonso, but just unable to keep it fair. It seems like Alonso's pounding the inner half of the plate, trying to get in on the hands of Mercado. The pitch. Another foul ball. As that one must have ricocheted just off the handle of Mercado's bat into his leg, just above his shin guard, off of his shin. Umpire giving him a little bit of time, as understandably he is shaken up, and Dave Casey calls time and takes a stroll out to the mound. Pellenin doesn't look to be hot quite yet, so this looks like just to give Manny a chance to take a breath, as he was throwing a lot of pitches this at-bat and in this inning. Good 2-strike hitting, ruining a lot of pitches by the Wolfpac. Alonso on the mound, looking to deliver yet another 0-2 pitch to Mercado. Mercado, another foul ball, this time to third base coach and manager Skylar Janice, who feeds it back to Manny Alonso on the mound. Quite the at-bat we're having here, as this at-bat feels like it is taken quite literally forever. We will break the 0-2 spell and go to a 1-2 count as Alonso misses down and in for ball 1. Good take by Mercado after fouling off 5 or 6 pitches even wearing one of those foul balls himself. Alonso lifts and deals. Ball looks to be put in play. Tracked down by the right fielder. Baggett for out number 3. A very long at bat finally comes to an end. Good job by Mercado staying alive and forcing more pitches to be thrown. Good job by Alonso by not giving in and closing the door on that inning.
Argento's coming in.
Argento's coming in to pitch for the Wolfpack.
We don't have room.
Argento's a big-bodied righty coming up onto the mound to face this Wolfpack lineup, which has had coming up to face the Road Warrior lineup, which has had their way in today's game. Putting up a big 6 spot to open the game in the bottom half of the first, and then doubling down and increasing their lead by putting up a 7 spot in the second to make this score 3-13. Alonso and the Wolfpack pitching have kind of settled in the last few innings. Alonso throwing up 3 straight W's as the Wolfpack, 3 straight zeros as the Wolfpack have thrown up 2 of their own, looking to make it a third and matching Alonso.
Myron Milane for Hiduglia.
And we have a change in center field defensively for the Wolfpack as Myron Mabane comes into center field for Joseph Impaduglia. So far to this point, this story of this game has been written in the first and second innings by both teams. The Wolfpack opened with an early run in the first, and that's all they would get as the Road Warriors answered with 6 of their own, taking a 5-run lead. In the top of the second, the Wolfpack answered with 2 to chip away into that lead, and then the bottom of the second, the Wolfpack dropped the hammer and put up a 7 spot. Since then, we've been zeros. And this leads us to the bottom of the 5th in a 3-13 ball game, as we are just finishing our 5th inning stretch. We are underway in the bottom of the 5th with Tommy Baggett coming up to hit as he takes strike 1 to get this inning underway. Strike 2 to Baggett from Argento. Argento comes set and delivers the 0-2 pitch. A fastball just outside. A good job by the catcher to try and collect that one in for a strike. Guzman doing the catching now for Alvarez. Both teams emptying their benches, trying to get a little bit of work for everybody. Ball 2. That's 2-2 is the count to Baggett as Argento lines and delivers ball 3. Argento working out of the stretch even without runners on. As that ball is hit Not fielded cleanly by Datsun at shortstop, takes it off the chest and unable to collect in time to throw him out at first.
E6.
Argento working on a stretch the man on first. There was a breaking ball for strike one. Argento fastball down, blocked well by Guzman as the runner is not able to advance. Argento gets a sign, comes set, lifts and deals. Ball two in a pitch where he threw that to lead off the inning and the ump called it a strike. 2-1 to Frank Podkol, the power hitting first baseman. Argento pulled that one into the left-hand batter's box for ball three as the count moves to 3-1. A ball hit well by Podkol into left field corner. This will at least be a double as Baggett moves into third and Podkol strolls into second as he hits a low line drive above the head of Skylar Mercado at third base and into the corner. Strike one to Whalen, the catcher. Whalen hits it into left field. Left fielders camped basically. Runner from third will tag and score as Podkol will stay put on the throw at second base. 14-3 go the Road Warrior Black Sox. As the Wolfpac check to see if he left just in case, and he did not leave early, so that run will score. Sherman with a big hack at the first pitch he sees, but comes up empty. Strike one. Another swing by Mark Sherman comes up empty. 0-2 is the count. Argento lifts and deals. Strike three as Sherman takes two big swings and watches strike three go right by him, and the ump rings him up. 2 outs for Argento with runners on second base as Buser strolls up to the plate.
You put in what inning steps.
Ball one from Argento to Buser. That one misses low. Ball hit high in the sky, called by the second baseman, caught behind second base in shallow center field. That will end the inning. Podco will be left stranded on second base. However, the Road Warriors do add one to their lead. The score is now 3-14.
Barbetti telling me the catch.
As it looks like we'll have a new battery as Dan Pellinen will go into pitch and catcher Dylan Barbetti will come in to do the catching. It's pronounced Dylan.
No, I think it's actually playing. Trishetta for Figueroa. Listen, for
Musser for working.
Musser for working coming up as he went into the field for him at the beginning of last inning.
Trishetta, yeah.
Dan Pellinen in to do the pitching for the Road Warrior Black Sox. And he will face the leadoff bat of this inning, Will Musser. Pellinen, a lanky righty, working from a high delivery arm slot as he misses 1-0 with a fastball high. Pellinen a little bit with an overcorrection there as he misses low with ball 2. Pellinen kicks and deals. Ball 3 low. Strike 1 from Pellinen as Musser was in auto take mode, making sure Pellinen could deliver a strike before willing to swing at one. Ball missed just a little bit above the zone as Musser will walk on 5 pitches. As Elon Trishita will come up to bat. Trishita will take ball 1 inside. Ball 2 down below the zone. Barbetti does a good job of blocking that one up and keeping it close. That way, Musser can't advance on the wild pitch. Strike 1 to Tresquita.
Oh, shit. You let the ball go.
Ball below the zone. The count will move to 3-1. Ball pulled foul off of Pellman's offering into the party deck over there at the party pavilion near the IC Light Bar. One of the wonderful features here at Wild Things Ballpark. We are open for 100% capacity. It is dressed like a seat night, or day, I should say, as that is ball 4 from Dan Paladin, as 2 walks will start his inning of work for him. Paladin lifts and delivers. Strike 1 to Guzman in the box. Strike 2 from Paladin. After walking the first 2, he gets way ahead here, 0-2 in the count to Guzman. Paladin lifts and delivers. Ball fouled back just over the first base dugout. As BPD Zone is opening our 3rd window in the booth, and we're going to get some full circulation.
Oh. Oh.
Mickey D's is very impressed by that. As Guzman sends one foul down the left field line. As Paladin sends one off of the backstop, trying to elevate a fastball and get a chase swing there. As Paladin gets the swing and miss, strike 3 on Guzman for the first out with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Dan Paladin delivers a ball high for 1-0 on the hitter. Salcedo's been in the 9-hole for the Wolfpac today. Has a chance to cash in a couple of runs as the count runs to 2-0. He's got 1 out with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Prime opportunity to put 2 up on the board with a base knock. Ball 3, also a high from Dan Paladin. Dan Paladin, a man of many nicknames. from Disco Dan to Smoothie Dan to Dan the Man. Three and 0 count with runners on second and third, one out with Myron Mabane on deck. Strike one from Dan Poundin after a brief meeting from his infield. Looks like we have some fans over there by the Wolfpac dugout. Glad to see the fans come out today. Dan Poundin strike two as he has found the zone twice in a row after missing for the first three pitches of this at-bat. Love when pitchers are able to come back and compete after not necessarily getting the pitches they want.
Matt.
And it looks like the umpire is signaling that the batter will stay put as that ball hits him. The umpire made the claim that the batter leaned into it, which I believe is actually a strike call, which would be strike three. Scott Janice successfully argues that it was a hit by pitch. No instant replay here in the Yunzer League. Not much to really argue either. It's a bold call from the umpire to begin with. Maybe the umpire thought it hit the bat. Either way, we got bases loaded for Myron Mabane with one out and Colin Miner on deck. Strike one from Dan Poundin. And while this game is an 11-run deficit right now for the Wolfpac, you don't necessarily want to let a team stick around and stay in it. You want to keep throwing zeros when you can. 1-1 is the count. A ground ball here would do wonders for Dan Poundin as that would get him out of the inning. Good block by Barbetti behind the dish as Poundin's delivery comes up a little short. Poundin has limited appearances so far this season as he's trying to establish a rhythm up on the mound. Foul ball back over the first base side, ricochet to Miner. Miner collects it and tosses it to his own dugout to be redistributed later in the game. Poundin delivers a bounce pass to go into a 3-2 count. That one misses low as Poundin will walk in a run here as Mabane will go to first. Musser will come around to score. All runners will advance and brings to the bat Colin Miner. Right-handed power threat. One of the more inspirational stories here in the Yunzer is Miner's been no stranger to injury in his career. He's managed to battle back and compete at a very high level. Miner fouls the first pitch off to the left side. Player, manager, third base coach Skylar Janice goes to chase that one down and deliver it back to Pelham. Ball one as that one misses low.
Easy.
Ball 2-1 to Minor as Paladin is struggling to establish the zone. 3-1. Paladin with the bases loaded, nowhere to put him in a 3-1 count. Misses just outside. Ball 4. Another run will come around. As we have a defensive switch at first base. Frank Podko coming off. And Manny Gomez coming in to do the first base duties. Paladin has been relieved by Frank Podko. So a little defensive switch here. Podko will remain in the game and will just move from first base to the mound while Manny Gomez will come in to first base. The Road Warriors wanting to save that bullpen as much as they can for the games later this week, as this still is a 9-run game, but the bases are loaded with only one out and some power bats for the Wolfpac coming up in the form of Raywald and Dadson. Some power lefties coming up to the dish. A card has been dropped up in the booth. A frustrating day for the Wolfpac, I'm sure, as their pitchers were a little less than stellar to start the game and created a hole that they're still trying to dig their way out of. There is still time. Oh, really?
Hey, one up.
Frank Podko misses 1-0. Dadson takes a big ol' hack, fouls it off 1-1. Raywald, excuse me. It's the first time I've done that all day. Been good so far. That's a bad luck. Podko misses high. He must have seen Dustin Macaluso in the first game be a position player pitching, and Macaluso had success filling the zone up with fastballs. A line drive from Raywald. As the runner from third base scores on the hit, the runner from second base also comes around. The umpire signaled that no signal once he originally crossed home. Barbetti went to go tag, and then the umpire signaled state that he crossed home already. Interesting sequence here. Nonetheless, 2 runs come across. Runners on first and second with 1 out for the left-handed hitter Dadson. Podkul misses high and outside for ball 1. Dadson with the swing and the pop fly to left field. Smybert, the shortstop, giving chase, but Buser will take care of that in left. 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Skylar Mercado up to bat. Podkul's only faced lefty so far, and his first pitch has missed high and arm side each time. Now with the righty, I'm curious if that will be the trend. If so, Skylar Mercado might want to watch out. Ball 1. Strike 1 to Mercado as the count evens out at 1-1. High, ball 2 for a 2-1 count to Mercado. Strike 2 on the outside corner as Podkul dotted the black on that one. The count evens back out again at 2-2. Mercado looking to extend this inning. Podkul looking to put it away. A fly ball to the right side of the field. Manny Gomez is giving hard chase into the bullpen. Ball ricochets off of the fence. We will do it again. Yeah. As Gomez gave a valiant effort to go chase that one. Ball landed probably 200 feet from him. Highway written all over it. As it looks like brilliant Sox reliever Max Marlowe will attempt to go chase it. Frame Podkul comes set, another 2-2 delivery. This one looks to be in play. Gomez. Well, McJohn would be proud of, but comes up with the catch. That ends the top half of the 6th. The Wolfpac put up 4 to make the score 7-14, a sizable dent into what was an 11-run lead. And if you're thinking along with the Road Warrior Black Sox, does Frank Podkul have 3 more outs in him? It looks like this game is over. This ball game ends an inning early due to the score and for the sake of the pitchers. No sense of running out another pitcher in a 7-run ball game with 3 outs to go. Either way, that ends our game. Final score, Wolfpac 7, Road Warrior Black Sox 14. The Road Warrior Black Sox are winners of 4 straight now.
Great.
That will do us here from Washington Wild Things Ballpark. We thank you for logging in. I'm Matt Reitz. Have a beautiful day. Make sure I didn't have it last time. I don't remember which one was mine.